Man, I was thinking back on some of the videos I've made, and one of them was a economic slash financial video, and I have been really accurate. When our current president got into office, I was saying that there were short-term wins to be had, but I felt that the long-term was going to be horrible, and I was 100% correct, especially in emerging markets like the smaller companies and the more innovative new technologies. Those ones have plummeted. I mean, eventually I would hope it would start to recover. One thing I was wrong about for sure, and in the video I was even like super unsure of how to stay safe. And I thought that gold and silver would be a good umbrella, but it turns out that umbrella was made of paper because it did not hold up well. Neither did cryptocurrency, but physical assets actually did, and that's something that has held up really well. Riding some pretty nice single track today. I'm up in the Stanley area, the Sawtooth Mountain Range. Some gnarly stuff up here. Rode some stuff up here yesterday that was just hard enduro the entire time with high consequence. It's amazing to me how far motorcycles have come and how refined they've gotten. But I think a lot about what the future is going to bring for dirt bikes. I think right now we're aiming towards electric. Seems to be what everybody's pushing for. I'm not personally a believer in electric. I just don't think they're ever going to have the range that is needed. Even the Starkvarg, that bike is supposed to be really good compared to a lot of the other electric bikes that have come out, but even at that, I don't think it's going to really meet the needs of the enduro riders. Definitely not the enduro riders. They say that a battery on that thing lasts as long as a 450 dirt bike at race pace, and that's really a funny thing to me because it's so vague. And usually when they're really vague like that, like they could say how many minutes it lasts, but they don't want to do that, it seems like to me, because they're like, oh, well, if we say it this way, it sounds better. We'll say it lasts as long as a 450 at race pace, which a 450 has a small tank designed for motocross, and at race pace with a pro on that thing, you're not going very far. So I think it would be better if they were just like, yeah, Battery's only going to give you like 45 minutes on this thing. It's probably in a gear too high there. Didn't expect this trail to get so techy on me already. A lot of wet roots here. As far as vehicles go, I would like to see fuel cell technology with hydrogen. Seems like that's not that far off. Seems like we'd be able to use hydrogen. I'm not sure how it would work in off-road applications though. But you are burning coal in order to make the batteries, which doesn't make any sense to me. Also doesn't make any sense to me that California is basically saying that everybody better have an electric vehicle pretty soon. But also, don't plug in your electrical vehicles because we can't we can't handle it on the power grid. Be a better solution. I'm not sure that hydrogen powered vehicles, as far as off-road stuff, I don't know if that would work very well. I think it's more of a road application. You know, cars, trucks, maybe street bikes. But hydrogen, you have a byproduct of water, so there's like no pollution involved. So if they can make it work, I don't see why they wouldn't. Although I was listening to one of the CEOs of these companies, and he said that he doesn't see any reason why in the near future hydrogen cells or hydrogen wouldn't cost any more than about a diesel would cost, and that seems awfully high to me, but I think the tech and the process there is probably going to make hydrogen pretty expensive. So I don't know. I mean, technology is always improving, and so I wouldn't say that it's a no-go, but we're just going to have to advance on that front. But it is a front that I think we can advance. I don't know if electrical power, I mean, we've been using electrical power for a long time, and according to some of the smartest people on the planet, electrical power is just too resource heavy to really make sense over the long run. What I mean by that is we have to mine so many raw materials that are rare earth materials, that, you know, all that nickel and everything, it's going to be really expensive in the long run and not sustainable to do electric. But I could be wrong too. Electrical power could advance like crazy, and your bike could run on something similar to like a AA battery for the lifetime of the machine. If that were the case, then yeah, go for it. I mean, I think that's an awesome idea. Could go nuclear powered. I've mentioned that in past videos. I do think we could use nuclear power for just about everything, except for those crazies out there. One of 100 people is a little bit off their rocker. Well, a lot off their rocker. There's 1 in 1,000 that's like absolutely bonkers. And there's 1 in 1,000,000 that would take apart their nuclear powered vehicle and just blow stuff up with it. Everything is wet, which makes this much more difficult. I think a lot of people thought that 2 strokes were going away, and they very well might go away because of a lot of reasons. Mostly it's environmental reasons. You know, California no longer sells any competition bikes. This bike is illegal to sell in California now. So they are doing their best to still sell bikes. They're making what's called California legal bikes, which instead of saying it's a 22 model, they're saying it's a 21.5 model. And they made those just for California dealers, which only goes so far. I guess you could always call it a 21.5-year model and just keep selling it that way to California dealers. It sounds like, unless you're on a really low performance trail bike, you're not going to be able to ride in California in the long run anyway. And unfortunately, smog is not the only reason they're going to come up with. There's also going to be noise pollution or whatever the next thing is that they come up with, you know. They're going to come up with natural resource damage. You're going to have a hover bike that doesn't make any noise. Or it would be much more convenient for them if you would just stay in your living room. This is a little steep. Nice little stream off to my left here. Pretty untouched, I bet. I bet there's so many little fish in that. Whoa! Beautiful meadow. Okay, I need to pay attention to the trail. At the Y intersection, figure out which way to go. Catch you guys on the next section. Peace.